Be strong.
Hey everyone, today we're going to go through a split series. So we have our lovely demonstrator Gabby. We're going to work on hamstrings, hip flexors, and a general flow. Ready? All right, let's do it. So first and foremost, we have to warm up our legs. The way in which we're warming up our legs is internal and external rotation. So Gabby's gonna sit on her butt. She's gonna take her legs out in front of her and she's gonna sit in a pike sit. Now from here, we wanna make sure that the internal and external rotation is actually feeling really good in our hips and our ankles. So it's actually taking everything from the ankle all the way up the back. She's gonna take her legs wider than hip width apart. Perfect. From here, we're gonna open up the legs and we're looking at the knee opening up fully and an external rotation where the pinky toe is actually pushing towards the ground. Now from here we're articulating the foot all the way down, pushing through the toes, internally rotating and sickling in, rotating through the ankle and all the way back out. Keep going, Gabby. So the reason we're looking at this is we're starting to work on the joints first. The external rotation is working on the hips, the knees, and the ankles, and we're going to reverse it the opposite direction as well. Good, the opposite direction. Whoop, all the way up and around. Ideally, if you can sit up nice and straight, that is great. If you're having a little bit of trouble along the way, you can always put your hands next to you so that you have some type of stability. Nice. All right. Both legs are going to be nice and straight. We're coming back to a pike position. Pike is with the legs close together. She's going to lift one knee up to her chest, give it a big squeeze. Again, this works really well with a nice straight back. The hip flexor is being squeezed. We're trying to relax into the glutes a little bit as well. Without using the hand, she's going to slide her heel all the way back out to meet her other foot, and her opposite leg's going to come in. Perfect. Keep going back and forth, Gab. So here, we're looking at how to actively lift that leg into the chest and squeeze at the same time. The squeeze is a little bit more passive because we want to make sure that the hip flexor is relaxed. We want to make sure that we're getting into our outside glute. And the drag of the heel is utilizing your active flexibility and getting that warmed up as well. Last one, back and forth. Perfect, yeah. All right, let's go into a little bit of our split series. We're gonna go a little bit more active today than normal. We're gonna come on to one knee and one leg straight out in front of you. Nice. When we're working on splits in general, we're looking at squared hips. Yes, I know dancers, sometimes we have it open, but today we're gonna focus on pulling that front hip back and back hip forward so everything's nice and aligned. Hands are on either side. We're going to see what our ankle feels like in a rotation now as well. So first we're going to open through that external rotation, push through the toe, sickle in on the internal rotation, and then flex it all the way back towards the face. Now here, we're trying to assess how our hips are feeling. So sometimes we're going to find some pinch over in the outside area of our leg. We're trying to work on dropping the hip open, dropping the knee open as well. Not only are you working on the ankle rotation, but you want to see how the midsection of your body is feeling all the way open and around. This is almost like functional fitness for splits. Perfect. Come back to a neutral position. We're going to do little pulses. We're going to keep the leg active in this one. If you're nice and bendy, we're flexing our toe. If perhaps you don't have as much stretch on you, we're going to relax the toe out. We're going to do little pulses. So it's inhaling at the top, exhaling. She's going to bend her elbows and just drop up and down. Up, inhale, exhale, drop it down. When it comes to stretching properly, we really want to make sure that our breathing technique is on as well. You can go as slow or as fast as you would like. Inhaling at the top, exhaling, dropping it down. Now, with this, what is happening inside of your body? This is something we don't always talk about when it comes to really extravagant contortion or flexibility because we're always trying to push past it. But if you can neurologically connect to what's happening in the back of your leg, understanding where the pain is, good pain and bad pain, you want to make sure that the down feels good. Perfect. All right. Coming back to a neutral position, she's going to take both hands on the other side, bend through the front knee, and we're going to assess with the hip flexor and look at the squared hips. So front hip is back, back hip is forward, and she's holding here. If you have some good flexibility on you, I don't want you to sink in. I want you to keep this hip active so that you're pushing it down towards the ground, holding here. Good, and we're gonna go in for a little bit of a flow now. Gabby's gonna take her hands to her knees, lift up nice and tall, open through that back again. Don't let the hip flexor go out. You're not sinking into your flexibility. You're making sure that it's pushing down. And then we're gonna go in for a flow. Hands come beside the foot, extend, and straight leg, hold. Breathe. Again, take a look at the hips. Front hip back hip forward, square it off, try to drop that belly button down. Inhale, coming all the way forward. Hands come to the knees, lifting up nice and tall, opening through that spine. Exhale, hands come down on either side of the foot. Extend that leg and feel. Good. Last one. Inhale, coming all the way forward. Hands onto the knees, lift up nice and tall. See if you can keep those hips nice and square. Exhale, hands come on either side of that foot. Extend. And lean it back. Lovely. All right. Relax it out. We're going to the other side. Other side. We're going for ankle rotations. Hands on either side first. Think about the whole circle of the ankle. External rotation, sickling in, and then flexing all the way back towards the face. Same thing, we're looking at the hip. So the hip is actually dropping open, the knee is opening it up, and you're making a full circle all the way around. Now, if this is feeling a little wonky, again, we don't want to sit in pain. We want to make sure it's feeling nice. Back off a little bit, understand how your body and your brain can connect to each other, and then keep the flow going. Last rotation. Good, we're going in for little pulses, hands on either side. If you have some good flexibility, we're flexing through the toe. If you have a little bit of a strain, relaxing the ankle fully. Inhaling at the top, exhaling, let's go bounces. Up and down, nice and slow. Same thing, we're trying to focus on the squared hips as much as possible. Front hip back hip forward. And are you able to open through that chest and allow it to drop down? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go in for a flow. Hands come all the way forward. Your hands are still on the ground. We're going to stretch into the hip flexor first, bending through the knee, coming all the way forward. Now, here we're taking a look at that hip flexor, squared hips. Keep this active. Don't sink too much into it if you're super flexy. You want to try and think about opening through that psoas as much as possible. Hold. You're almost pushing that back shin into the ground. When you're ready, hands are going to come to the top of the knee. Lift up nice and tall. Take a big inhale. Keep that hip flexor pushing forward. Good. Hands come to either side of the foot. Let's go in for that flow. Exhale, hips come back. Same thing applies here. Do you have some flex on you and want to flex your toes so you're getting into almost your calf area or perhaps upper hamstring? Inhale, coming all the way forward. Hands come right to that knee. Lift up nice and tall. Hip flexor is still open. We're still looking for this nice squared hip. Hands come to either side. Exhale, drop it back. Nice. Last one, back and forth. Inhale, coming all the way forward. Hands come right to that knee. Lift up nice and tall. Exhale, hands on either side. Straighten the leg. Good. And slowly come all the way back through neutral. All right, all. That was your mini split series for today. Good job, Gab. Get strong.